Yeah.
Another piece I just want to understand a bit more is the actual logistics of your supply chain and relationships with these guys. And the reason I do is, most of our audience is on the East Coast. East Coast is really heating up here. And like I've said to you guys many times, I just love your business model because you're specializing. Just do what you do well. You don't need to just because you're good at branding, you don't need to have a vertically integrated entire operation, right?
Mhm.
But those partners are essential. So, would you care to share how does that relationship work? Right? Like are you white labeling their products? Are you paying them up front? Like what are some of the things that people can learn from you guys about how you partner with manufacturers?
Yeah. So we have two primary ways of partnering that we use that are both a little bit different. One is where with I think the Sativa Preservation Society example that we're launching now, where we work with a cultivator that also can manufacture, and they grow the product, they manufacture it to our specifications, and then they ship it to our distributor from there. So everything is still within our specifications, our quality standards. I mean, design the packaging, give them the SOPs, all of that, but we're trusting them to know how to do their expertise right. The other way that we work is where we'll work directly with a manufacturer, and then we work with them to source material to our specifications. So we've worked with, over the course of our company, probably close to 100 different cultivators that we've bought flower from. We've had collaborations with what now, Libby, 7 or 8 different extract brands. There's been a few extract brands in addition to that we've bought extracts from. So everything, at least with the way that we do it, everything is done to our specification to start. So we don't necessarily go to someone that has something and then say, okay, how can this fit into a Space Coyote product? We say, okay, this is how Space Coyote products are made, and then let's work with you to adapt you to our process, which that's the model that I was familiar with from like consumer electronics and CPG, and it's worked really well. The not having a license definitely does introduce complications from time to time, but again, we are able to work with and partner with these licensed companies that do work really closely with us, and the great thing is that we're relying on them, but they're also relying on us because we both help each other's businesses. And so it turns into this thing where there's really good reciprocity on both sides. And so we're always from both sides working to figure out, okay, how can we help each other as much as possible while still helping our own business grow and succeed.
Got it. So in that first model where you're coming with the specs of what you want, right? Let's just say here, I want this. I'm going to oversimplify this, so bear with me here. I want this joint with these extracts this way. The quality of the flower has to be X, Y, and Z, and the final packaging and product needs to be like this. So you guys went and did your consumer research, your smoking J's, figuring out the specs that you want perfectly. Are you literally writing out SOPs for people? And how long or robust are those SOPs? Just so our audience has context of what that it looks like.
Yeah, we are literally writing out SOPs. I would say each of our SOPs is maybe, I don't know, 2 pages long, and we have SOPs for the manufacturing, for how, even down to if we have a joint tube, how to apply the sticker to the tube, where to place it, how much it can be, shifted in one direction. For the joints, it's like, okay, if we're making a 1 gram joint, you have to weigh every joint, and it always has to be at least 1 gram, but it can't be more than 1.05 grams. Like to that level of detail. It's literally, it should be like a recipe that people can follow perfectly and not have any questions on. And of course you miss things, and the manufacturer comes back and says, hey, you didn't specify if you wanted us to do it this way or this way. And they go, oh shit, okay, I'm going to add that to the SOP and send it back. But we do it really detailed.
How long, first of all, how long does it take you to write these all out, in total? And do you do this before you go make a pitch to a manufacturer? Do you get a tentative deal in and then send the SOPs? Like, where in the process do you do this as well?
Yeah, I recommend doing it at the beginning, having it in hand to start. The other thing with manufacturers is that everyone has different equipment and everyone has a different process.
Hmm.
So if we make our standard SOP, so I think grinding the weed is a good example. So the weed grinding process that our two primary manufacturers have right now is completely different, and so I had like our standard SOP, and then based on the one manufacturer, I had to modify it for the equipment that they had. For the other manufacturer, had to modify it for that. And but I mean, the SOPs, honestly, the most difficult part of it is just figuring out like the initial format. And
Hmm.
once I had that down, like I can sit down and write a new SOP for a new product in, I don't know, half an hour. It's like it's pretty quick, but it saves you so much time and so much effort down the road. And the other piece that's really, really important that a lot of people overlook is adding quality checks to those SOPs. And
Beat me
and
to
then
it.
actually ensuring that the manufacturer follows the quality checks, because we had an issue where we had quality checks in our SOP, but I just, assumed that they were following the quality checks, found out later they were not, and we got a couple batches of joints that were absolute shit. We had to pull them back off the shelves, fix them, and that can happen to anyone. But the tighter control that you have and the better of a relationship that you have, and like I really believe in, it's important to go to your manufacturer on a regular basis, actually be there in person with them, like observe the manufacturing line. All of those things are like, this is, even though it's weed, like you are building a product, and it is your responsibility as a business owner or as the director of operations or director of quality to be there and make sure that that stuff is done right.
And how do you have that conversation with the manufacturer when you notice that something isn't happening right? That's tough.
With It can be. It depends on the partner. There's one manufacturer that we had to cut our relationship with because when we did bring issues, they just got really defensive and they wouldn't address the issue. And for us, like we're not bringing an issue to like try to knock you down. We're bringing an issue because we want our products made really well, and the manufacturer's name is on the packaging too. Like at least in California, the BCC regulations, it has to have the manufacturer's name on there. So like this is about both of our reputation, but we do it from like there's in the life of Space Coyote, I can only remember two times where I had to like get angry or raise my voice with the manufacturer. And I actually I think most people that know me say that I'm like very stoic, very even tempered. Other people are not like that, but I really see using aggression or like anger like that as a tool. That's a tool that you can use that shouldn't be used often, but in certain situations, like as long as you're still like
In
calm
control.
within, then you can use that as a tool to really express. I mean, it's the same. I've heard studies about that. When people use curse words in sentences, that those sentences are taken more seriously. And I think it's the same thing that, like, typically, I think it's always best to just bring it really calmly, say, hey, here's the issue that we identified. This is how we think we can fix it. This is the timeline that we want you guys to work within. But if that doesn't happen again, and then maybe again, then like, yeah, it's time to escalate it. And I think each person has their own style how to escalate it, but the more I think collaborative that you can be in anything like that, the better the reaction is going to be.
For sure. Nice. I appreciate your thought process of using it as a tool. 'Cause as long as you're in control, all your emotions are valuable. You don't have to like
Yep.
press things away.